Yes, yes, it's that time of the show. It's time for the Filmmies. And if you're new to the show, this is a part of the show where me and Scott give out 6 awards from what we just watched. And if we both pick the same person or the same thing, and it is deemed as certified. But with that being said, the first award we have is our Ferris Bueller Award. So, Scott, who got your Ferris Bueller, aka Lazy Award? It's not something that usually we give out to. It's usually something that's just like in jest. Like someone did something lazy that I thought was funny, writer, director, actor, what doesn't matter, but nothing that ruined the movie, but something funny usually that we wanted to point out. So who'd you give it to?
This was a pretty easy one for me. I gave it to Dr. Chilton. I mean, this guy's a clown the whole movie, but like, it's for leaving the pen in the cell. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple, right? Like, this is your rule, bro. Like Clarice comes and you give her the whole rundown. Like, don't mess with this guy. This look, you showed her the picture. Like, look what he can do. Don't get close to the glass. You can give him soft paper. You can't give him nothing else. And he's in there playing with a pen and leaves it in there like clown,
Yeah.
clown.
He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. No, it's a great Ferris Bueller. And that was my easy. Like I wrote that down immediately. Even just remembering, like I know this idiot's gonna leave his pen in there, so that's gonna be a Ferris
Mhm.
Bueller. But then watching this a second time, there was something else that was kind of jarring to me that I was like, you know what? I gotta
Okay,
do this one also too. And it's very similar. It's very similar, and it's kind of even tied to that. But that is a great Ferris Bueller. It's well
I'm
deserved.
very interested to hear what yours is.
Mine went to Lieutenant Boyle, and it's the
Okay.
guy that came in when they're like, oh, let's see hands, let's touch ground, and then they like they put them like, attached to the chain. I got the cage. Yeah, it's a cage. They
Yeah,
they
the
they handcuff
bars.
him to the cage, and it's not doing a hand check on Lecter, like doing like a full like.
Mm.
It's already been established that this guy is dangerous. Like there's literally a man sitting in a cage in the middle of a room. Like and like there's so much effort. This guy gets a mask put on him, and his arms are at his side, like in a straight jacket. There's got to, and you guys have weapons, so it's like, hey, it's do your job of hey, like just show me your hands, open your fingers, cool. Don't just tell me touch ground. Like it doesn't mean any. Like we know this guy's capable of so much.
Yeah,
So I'm like, you got to do it a little more than that when checking this guy.
it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, like you said, we know how dangerous this guy is. They are nice to him, and he's nice to them. Maybe they're just
Yeah,
like boys at this point. He's like, you're not gonna kill me, right?
yeah,
Like, we're good. I'll get a handcuff you because I was supposed to, but like, we're cool, right?
yeah.
But
No,
at the
it's
end of
the
the day, that is
charm.
lazy.
They bought into the charm, and I know I
Yeah,
just think it's
true.
lazy, and I think it's yeah. I had to give it to them. It's a shame.
Okay. Yeah, good pick.
It
Yeah,
didn't turn out
good
good
pick.
for them.
Yeah, I mean, they also expect the room to be like the cage to not have anything in there. Like he's not
Yeah,
supposed to have that piece of the pen, but I mean, he's doing drawings. There's a table there. Like, it's possible that he could have, like, taken a screw out of the bottom of it or something. Like,
yeah.
yeah, you got to check. You got to check.
That's all I'm saying. It's just they've established in this movie how smart this guy is, and he can do the most with little.
Yeah.
So, honestly, there's a lot in there. Like when you really think about like, oh, don't leave any pencils. I'm like, you guys give him a whole system where you can listen to music and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sure you could find anything in these things.
That's a really good point. Like, he's got a record player. There's a needle on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot he could work with. I just feel like you should check his hands.
Yeah.
That's a bare minimum. Just check his hands.
Or give him less stuff. Like, he's drawing. Like, they're like, don't give him a pencil. What is he drawing with?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's just like a little nib of lead, but still, you can do
Oh,
something
okay.
with that.
Yeah, this is Hannibal Lecter, damn it.
Yeah, whatever. There's a lot of these guys. There's probably even more too, but
Oh, for sure.
well deserved.
Yeah.
Ferris on both sides. Next award we have is self-explanatory. It's fit check. So, what was your favorite fit from the movie?
I gave it to the classic one we talked about. It's Hannibal when he faces the senator and he gives her the fool's gold name. This
Oh
was
yeah,
actually kind of tough because she's getting a fit off too, right opposite him. She's
yeah.
got like this cool scarf around her
He
neck and like,
compliments it too.
yeah, exactly. He even mentions it out loud. He's like, "Oh, you're looking good, Senator." So I thought about giving it to her, but like the fit is so iconic, like the orange pants,
Yeah,
the straight jacket. He's strapped to the cart that they're just wheeling him around in, And the biggest thing is it's the face
The
mask, like
mask. Yeah.
the three lines over the mouth and the eyes. That's part of the fit, like his big wide eyes staring at the camera. It's terrifying and iconic, and it's my fit check.
And he gets his jokes off too. We didn't really talk about how funny he is in this movie with all his like one-liners and stuff like that. Even
Yeah,
when he's talking about like a past client and talk about how he ended up dying, he's like, yeah, he's probably for the best. His therapy wasn't going well.
yeah,
Just like
damn,
lines like that. Or when he was talking to the senator and he's just like, oh, when a man gets amputated, he still feels like the twitch of like his leg, whatever. He's like, when Catherine is on the slob, where are you gonna twitch?
yeah. And your nipple, yeah.
I'm
How do your
like,
nipples feel? Like, did you
yeah.
breastfeed her? They talk about her nipples, yeah.
I'm like,
Freako, man.
damn, dog. Yeah, he's not trying to get sympathy. He does not want to go on that island, clearly.
No,
Because
exactly. I think he's so smart though. He knows that it's BS. He's like, this none of this
yeah,
is true. Yeah.
no, 100%. Yeah, but no, that's a great fit. And I had the exact same fit.
A
Exact same fit. Exact same fit. Yeah.
certified.
Because it really, like you said, it's just so iconic. And it's obviously the heavy lifting is the mask. It's
Yeah.
like, and I was even comparing it to how it's different than the like Michael Myers and all this stuff, but like that is his mask. That is his Michael Myers mask. That's his ghost face mask. That thing, when people like when they're in games or people make memes or they have like those edits where they show all the killers, that's what they show them in. Like they
Right.
show Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and like his sweater and his hat and everything. And when they show Hannibal Lecter, he's in the jumpsuit with the mask on
Yep.
because
Yeah.
it's
I
the
mean,
most
what else?
memorable outfit. Obviously, like his cell outfit too, but it's
Yeah,
not
it's
as
true.
memorable as the
Yeah. Yeah. I guess like the first time we see him, like you talked about when Clarice is walking down the corridor, and
yeah
then we just come around the corner and he's just standing there staring at her, and he's just got like the gray prison fit. That's pretty like if you had a drawing of that, I feel like you would know who that is. But like there's also like a ton of people in movies that are just in like
yeah
prison outfits. So like this really sets him apart. So
oh
it's
for
more that.
sure. Maybe the white one, like when he's in like the cage, like in
Oh
like
yeah,
Memphis or whatever. Maybe that would be the one you'd remember because it got the
true.
numbers on it and like it kind of gets established because then when you see him in like the elevator, you think it's him because like oh that's what he was wearing, so you remember
Right.
it that he was
Yeah.
wearing that. So then maybe if you saw that, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Hannibal's outfit that he was wearing that. But again, like we were saying, it's the mask, it's the
Yeah.
jumpsuit, 100%, the
It's the
orange
mask.
jumpsuit.
None of
Yeah,
those are clearing the mask.
exactly. Next one we have is another self-explanatory one in this quote. So, where's your favorite quote go to?
You said it earlier in the episode. I gave it to Hannibal at the very end of the movie on the phone with Clarice. I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. And he's just
Yeah,
watching Chilton go by. I was like, oh, snap. That's just,
yeah,
I mean, we talked, there's so many oh, snap moments in this movie. And that's one that's just so chilling. I mean, we know he's a cannibal, and it's obviously like the play on words. And
yeah,
it just like, it totally works. And she's just like, because they have this conversation before, right? She
mhm,
asks, "Where are you? Like, are you coming after me?" He's like, "No, no, you're good. Like, I'm chilling, and I'm not gonna come after you, so you're not gonna come after me, right?" And she's like, I can't do that. I
yeah,
still gotta come after you." And then he's like, "Okay, well, let me go eat this dude then, really quick." Just nasty.
yeah. The world's more interesting with you in it,
Yeah,
which
that's some
I
Joker and Batman stuff.
that is some Joker and Batman, and that's why I made that comparison too. And
Yeah,
I like the way it just wraps up too because it's uh it's very much like the story continues. Like even if you didn't even
yeah.
know this was a book series, just like the credits are rolling and you just see him moving, just luring on him. Like this monster is among the world now. That's basically kind of
Well,
what the it says.
even right after, you're totally right, because before this phone call, the last time we saw him was in the ambulance when he escaped. And then
Yeah,
the whole movie continues and they find Buffalo Bill and all that stuff. So like he's like an afterthought after that. But I'm
yeah,
like the movie's wrapping up and coming to an end. You know, she's cutting her cake at the FBI and everything. I'm like, guys, Hannibal Lecter is out. What the like? I need to know where he's at or like what's going
yeah,
on here. Like, there's no way you just leave me hanging like that. So we have this final moment that like wraps it up nicely. That, like you said, still like means he's still out there and the story continues. But at least like for the movie is like, okay, this is for this part of the story, like it's complete. Because
Mhm.
like when he wasn't coming back, I was like, there's no way that we're just never gonna see him. Like, where is he? What's going on? Like, I had to
Yeah.
know. So I'm glad that we got this.
Yeah, like, they wrapped it up, and, did you get that, that sense that it was when they said, like I think maybe on the second time, you're like, "Oh, this is something," but they're like, "Oh, you have a phone call." Did your mind go to, "It's probably Hannibal?"
That's a good question. No, I don't think so. No. No,
And
because
then
like
when
I
this
said, he's kind of like
Yeah.
an afterthought at this point. We haven't seen
Mm,
him for so long. And so she just got like, her badge or whatever. She's part of
yeah.
the FBI now. Maybe it was I thought it was maybe gonna be a call like setting up her next job or something. And but then hello, Clarice. And then your the hair on your neck just stands up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Nah, it's so good. I wasn't sure if, like, maybe, like, the second inkling would maybe, like, tip you off because, like, the first time you hear, you just got a call, you're like, "Okay, she got a call." This might not we might not even see her, like, take the call because it's just maybe just, like, a passing line in a movie. But then when
Yeah.
he says, "Don't forget you have a call," maybe that would've been, like, an inkling to you, like, "This is an important call. We're gonna see it." Maybe you would've been teased because I remember
Mm,
the first time I didn't realize. That it was a shock to me because, like you said, I was in the same mindset of, like, okay, I guess we're moving on from this. It's strange because this guy was such a big part of the movie. No one's talking about him. But yeah, I was curious if that even the second mentioning of the call was like a oh maybe this is
yeah.
Hannibal.
I guess maybe that's why it works too, is that like we've just spent so much time now without him that we've kind of
Yeah,
forgotten about him a
forgot.
little bit. And then it just brings back and that voice. Oh,
Oh
as
yeah,
soon as
no,
you hear the line, you're just like, oh no, this can't be
yeah,
good.
no.
And
He
I wasn't sure.
transferred.
I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if he was gonna be like like one of those classic things where he's like, oh, make sure you finish that coffee you're drinking or something. You know what I mean? Like, so like the to show that he can see her, and then she goes and
yeah.
looks around and like, what? Like he's out here. That was actually apparently a an alternate ending. Was that he had Chilton already like tied up in his house or
Mm.
whatever, and then he calls Clarice and he's like, oh, I love your blue dress today or something, and so
Oh
it's
damn.
still kind of the same thing. He's gonna kill Chilton, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They thought it was a little too like fun and weird.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that was an alternate scene, but yeah, no, that might have been a little too cute.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
like the way they ended it. Man had a
same.
full head of hair.
I yeah, that was a goofy wig, but I get it. You're Hannibal
Yeah, you gotta
Lecter,
blend in.
you gotta blend it.
You know what's funny? I actually this is another reference why it shows the power of this movie. Because it just reminded me there was another like I just saw Zootopia 2
Mm.
yesterday with Eloise, and there was a reference to Silence of the Lambs in it. I was like, that's crazy.
I saw that there's like a ton of references to movies in that movie,
Oh,
right?
there
Like they did
is,
a whole
yeah.
bunch of like classic stuff. So
I mean, I feel like they did that in the first movie too. They've been there was a reference to The Shining in it too, but it was just so topical because I just watched this movie and I'm taking notes for it, and then I'm
yeah,
taking a break so we can watch Zootopia, and then I'm seeing there's a reference to I'm like this movie is 35 years later and it's
yeah.
still getting referenced in a
What what
children's movie.
what gets referenced, or is it a spoiler? You don't want to say?
Prison scene.
Okay.
Someone goes to see someone in prison, and they basically are doing the
Someone
seeing
flicks
Hannibal
sperm at
Lecter.
someone, or what?
What? No.
Someone throws sperm.
That did not happen in Zootopia 2.
Oh, okay.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy in a kids movie. Well, they could
Yeah,
have flipped like I don't know, like food. They could have been
yeah.
something that obviously they wouldn't do with sperm, but yeah.
But, no, that's a great quote. My quote, I end up giving to Buffalo Bill,
Mm.
and it's it puts the lotion on his skin or else it gets the hose again.
Mm.
And to me, it's for a couple of reasons. One, I heard that line so many times before I even saw the movie, and I didn't know what the hell it was from. Like I always saw people
Oh,
make those references, like I was saying in those 57 references of different shows and stuff like that. I didn't know what it was from, but also just how haunting it is. Like he keeps referring to Catherine as it.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. He just keeps saying it. He doesn't want to even like think of this person as a person, which is just yeah, it's such like a haunting quote. So I gave it to Buffalo Bill because it's something a line that definitely stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point, especially the it thing. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like it puts it on its skin, And two, like, unless, I mean, the hose is like, um comparatively speaking to the rest of this movie, a very mild punishment.
Yeah,
So, that's not that terrible. But it kind of calls back to earlier in the movie when the senator is doing like this public announcement saying like, oh, you have my daughter, don't worry, I have money and I can help you and blah blah blah. And she just keeps saying Catherine, and
yeah,
then Clarice even says it, oh, she keeps saying her name, so that if she keeps doing that, it'll maybe help Buffalo Bill think of
humanizer.
it. Yeah, help think of her as a person and not an object. And then we get this line of him saying it's twice, and we're like, okay, well that didn't work, but
Yeah. Do you think
chilling
he even
line.
watched the broadcast? Is Buffalo Bill watching TV like that?
I don't think no, I don't think so. I don't think he's
That's
watching
what I was
TV like
thinking
that.
too. I feel like he didn't even watch it. But maybe as a serial killer, you would watch the news to see if they're on your trail, maybe to a
Yeah,
certain extent. Because like you think about it, they kind of snitch on themselves a little bit when they're reporting and stuff like that. It's like, okay, this is what they know about me. I guess
yeah,
they kind of have to let the public know what's going on to a certain extent.
yeah, to a certain extent. And I mean, I chalk some of that up to movie as well. It's just exposition for us, like telling
Yeah.
us kind of what they know. And but I mean, maybe they should have been a little hotter on their trail too. That's something that was I thought about giving the lazy award too, is like just to the police department of that town of the first victim, like where Buffalo Bill is.
Yeah.
Cause like it took Clarice one interview with her friend and like three questions to be like, where does she spend a lot of time? And she's like, oh, she loves to sew. She's sewing is her whole life. And she worked over here at this house for a while. And Claire's just like, okay, goes, and that's where Bill is. Like, I don't know. Come on, guys. You couldn't have talked to her friend and seen what she's into. Like, seemed a little
No, that's
easy.
true. No, that is true. I mean, there's a history of in movies and film of the FBI and the cops not being the most intellectual, and that's always how
Yeah.
they display them.
Yeah.
And this is the one. This is the our main character is the one that's the smart one.
Right. Exactly.
We
Yeah.
rock with Clarice. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was that was my quote. Next one we have is our six man, aka our Peyton Pritchard Award. And who gets your six man? Who showed out in their small role that you felt need some shine?
I gave it to Rodin, who
Okay.
is the bug guy that tells her all about like the butterfly, like the
Mm,
thing that was stuck in the girl's throat. Um, just because this guy truly loves bugs. This guy
yeah.
was all for it, but they're playing chess with the bugs. But even when he cuts them open and he looks inside and he's like, oh, this guy's beautiful. Like someone grew this guy, fed him honey, kept him
Yeah.
warm. Somebody loved this guy.
Yeah.
And in this super dark movie about murder and serial killers and cannibalism, it's just a moment of light just with this guy's passion about bugs. Like
Yeah.
this guy was just sharing his passion with us, and I was here for it. He was a big bug guy.
No, I like that. I that's a good nod because that scene that was a good scene, and I even want to give a nod to like the doctor that had the kind of
Mm,
like the cross eye or whatever it is. And he was asking Clarice like what she does on their off time. You ever go for burgers? And I just like how to the point this guy was. She's like, "Are you hitting on me, doctor?" And he's like, "Yes." I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Okay, let's go." There's
yeah.
a
Shout out to
murder
those
case
guys.
at work, and this guy is trying to get some, yo.
Hey, that's not his business. He's chilling with bugs, dude. He's not an overweight woman. He's fine.
Not up, and he's not apologetic about it. Are you hitting
Nope.
on me? Yes.
Yeah, I likes you and I want you.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said.
Basically, man. Oh my god, that was good. But
So
no, that's a
I
great
gave it to
six
the
man.
other guy because yeah, but it could have been him too. Just those guys. That was great.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I was just nodding to both of them because I agree with you
Yeah.
about the bug guy, but also I wanted to give a nod to the doctor
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he was good in that too. But no, that's a great. Yeah, those guys were in there for a short amount of time, but they're definitely memorable. And yeah, that guy is he loves bugs.
He loves bugs.
He loves
Yeah.
bugs. Mine went to someone that you probably wouldn't know their name. Maybe you would. Dawn Bailey.
Try me. That's my
Dawn
guy.
Bailey. That's your guy. It's a woman.
Oh, damn. Sorry, Don.
Dawn Bailey is the woman that created the poster for the movie.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so I had to give some nods to that because that's an iconic poster. We were talking
Yeah.
about the title, but like the title also matched with the poster. You see Silence of the Lambs, you see this white face with a moth on its mouth, and you're like,
Hmm.
this is just it definitely is a poster that doesn't like marketing wise. Like I understand why people would be like it's very artsy and like I don't know what we're selling. Like it's like most thrillers, you'll have a killer, you'll have some elements of blood, guns, like action or something like that. But it doesn't have none of that. It's very artsy in that sense, but it's just so iconic in what it is and the simplicity of it. And there was one aspect of the poster that I actually never even caught that on the moth on
I was
first
just about
look,
to
I was
say
like,
this.
there's a skull, but did
Yeah.
you see like the zoom in of it? Did you see that aspect of
Well,
it?
I didn't notice it at first, but someone actually when I was on the Reddit post was
Mhm.
explained it to me, and I checked it out, and I'm looking at it right now, all zoomed in. Say the thing.
Yeah, no, it's like it's the skull is actually when it's zoomed in, it's like it's seven nude women like arranged in a skull, which is like obviously ties to like the Buffalo Bill and like him going after the woman, but it was inspired by this old Salvador Dali like photo that was taken, and it just got put into and literally until doing research for this movie, I noticed the skull, but I didn't know that it was when zoomed in, it was that. So like that
Hmm.
was the first time I ever saw that, and I was like that tiny little detail. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy.
I actually knew
That's
a
so
guy.
cool.
One of my boys in college had that tattoo. It's the
Oh,
skull, but it's
really?
like yeah, it was the women, and I thought it was just like a tattoo. But
Yeah.
so I wonder if it's like a if he loves this movie or if it's the Salvador Dali thing. But like, great six man. I never that's such a great idea for a six man too. I don't think we've ever done that before.
I think you know what I think I actually did for the Bone Temple, not Bone Temple,
Oh,
28.
28 years
I
later.
think I did because
Oh,
I think I
maybe I
liked
think
the
you did
skulls.
actually. Yeah, you might be
Yeah,
right.
it's rare because
Yeah,
I mean, especially I should say I'm not gonna shit on all posters nowadays, but we were definitely in the era of a lot of like face posters. It's just
yeah,
who's in the movie.
yeah.
It's like because like just the way movies are marketed a little differently. Unless you're a big director, it's hard for you to take a swing on a movie poster and just make it artsy because
Mm,
you kind of have to tell who's in it and what's it about in the poster to get people nowadays. In that sense, you can back then, even then, it was in 1991. They still didn't really want to take the risk. They're like, "Are you sure you don't want to put Anthony Hopkins?" Well, actually, no, people didn't really know. I guess people wouldn't have known him as much back then. But at least like Jodie Foster, I mean, that is
mm.
her, but you
Yeah.
can't tell. So I think they were like, maybe we should do it a little differently. So and like maybe show that it's like a some element of a drama, like because you wouldn't really know that title and poster. You have no idea what this movie's about.
Not
So
even a little
marketing
bit.
wise, it does not make sense.
No, it's called The Silence of the Lambs, and it's a butterfly on a mouth. And what the hell does that mean? I mean, we talked about earlier, just like you just don't understand what the title of this movie means until you
Yeah,
watch it. But yeah, the poster doesn't help, but it still is like now having seen it, it's so iconic and it's so like you're right, the simplicity of it is really good. And I think you're right, like most now of what we get posters, it's like the title at the bottom, and then you have your main character in the middle, and then all your other side characters kind of like distributed throughout the poster. And at least now we get like, you can get like four different posters for a movie. So
yeah.
you do that one that's more like your marketing one, and then you have a few other that can be a little more artsy. But no, this was a great good pick.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely felt like I went another way with it. My and it's I'll just say it. My first pick was gonna be Miggs, and not because I liked what he did. It was just in
Ugh,
the essence of like who showed out in their small role, and that guy was a disgusting piece
true.
of garbage in his small moment in the movie, and it's very memorable. And I was like, I don't want to give a six man to this. Let me
Yeah.
let me dig a little deeper. I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, I don't want to give a nod to Miggs. So I was like, what else do I
Yeah.
like about this movie that's like a small? And I was like, okay. Oh, I was like a poster. I was like, I got to do the
Mm.
poster on this. I almost gave Howard Shore. We just did that Lord of the Rings. I forgot he was the composer on this movie.
I know. I noticed that
It wasn't.
like when the credits started playing, I was like, "Oh snap, Howard
Yeah,
Shore."
it didn't have as much power as he did on Lord of the Rings, so I felt like
Yeah.
it didn't deserve that much of a nod. But it definitely was the composed like the scenes where it was intense and stuff, like the music was good and like throughout the opening was good. It was like chilling and jarring and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, I gotta give some love to the poster. Don Bailey needs to. You thought it was a man, so I that now
Yeah, sorry,
now I
Don.
gotta put
Is
some
it like a
respect on her.
is it a DAWN spelling or is it a
DAWN, yeah.
okay? See, that's the thing. Yeah, my mother in law is actually her name is Dawn. Alexa's mom is named Dawn DAWN.
Oh
But
yeah, true.
like,
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Yeah,
but sometimes yeah, like when I hear Dawn, I just assume DON and
DON.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Don Draper. I'm watching Mad Men. Don Draper. My
yeah,
mind immediately goes to a man too, but yeah, you got to know the spelling. That helps.
yeah. Sorry,
That
Dawn.
helps.
Great poster.
Next one we have is scene. So, what was your favorite scene?
I give it to Hannibal escaping. I
Mm,
talked about like just how I was able to dodge spoilers for this
yeah,
35-year-old movie that I watched for the first time. There's just so many great moments that I did not see coming. Like when it started off, like my interest really got piqued when Clarice comes and he says goodbye to her because all the other times they just kind of like the scene just kind of ends when they're
yeah,
done talking. This one, like he gives her the case files, touches her finger, says goodbye, Clarice, and I was like, oh, he's gonna do something. He's gonna
yeah,
do something, and then we see that he pulls the little piece of the pen out, and I'm like, okay, now I know what's gonna happen here. Not exactly, but he's gonna get out.
yeah.
He's gonna mess these dudes up. He's gonna get out. So everything that just keeps elevating. The guy in the elevator, they shoot him in the
Mm.
leg. He doesn't move, and the reveal of him wearing the face in the
Yeah,
ambulance, just holy shit! I was not ready for that. Um, and finally, shout out to Sergeant Tate. You know, I mentioned the guy that he's the sergeant who's like in charge of all the cops here. He's on the walkie-talkie talking to people. Is like, "That's Pembry, damn it! Go and help him. Go and talk to him." And like, what
yeah.
the hell am I supposed to say to him? He's like, "I don't know. Just talk to him." And but right before they go up, when they're at the bottom, look at the elevator, and he's goes on the radio. He's like, "Seal off a 10-block radius. Get me a SWAT team and an ambulance, double quick. We're going up." I was like, hell yeah. I would go fight for this guy. This guy was
Yeah,
cooking, dude. He just takes full control of the scene. He's so confident. I would
yeah,
I would follow that man into battle. Shout out to you, Sergeant Tate. But that scene is just
yeah.
unforgettable.
No, 100%. And it's funny you mentioned the Tate thing because that was something that stuck with me too. Where talk to him, damn it. Where it's true. It's just a little thing. It's like that's your boy. Yo, talk to him. Damn it, he's dying.
Yeah.
But that's yeah. But that's a great scene though. That's an absolutely great scene. It's such a. I guess that is the. Would you call that the? That's tough to say because like, is that the climax or is it when Clarice is in the basement? Like they're both so high. There's
Well,
just such highs of the movie that they're both like. Which one's higher?
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, this goes to my point that I talked about earlier, how this is two movies in one. Both of those,
Yeah.
like, if you had those as separate movies, they would both be good. The
Yeah.
fact that both of them are together just makes this phenomenal. So because
Yeah.
you have two climaxes, like that would be the climax of the Clarice and Hannibal movie.
Story.
You
Yeah.
know, it'd be him escaping and then Clarice trying to track him down, maybe or something. But that would be the climax. And then for the investigation into Buffalo Bill, it's finding him in the basement, and then but both of them are so tense. You don't know
Oh
what's
yeah.
going to happen next. They're both just amazing scenes. So I don't know. Does a movie have to have one climax?
No, it doesn't. Definitely doesn't. But it was just something I thought about where I was like, yeah, those are two like really like high like impact moments in the movie that yeah, it's like don't necessarily have to rank which one's better, but it's just interesting to even think about that there is two that you'd have to think about. But
True,
no, it's
because
a
most
great
movies
scene.
clearly have one.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Great scene. Mine is in that same area. Like it's in the Memphis courthouse.
Mm.
And that's how I kept referring to it as Memphis Courthouse throughout the movie because I had to look it up because I just wanted to make sure I said what the right place was. But it was specifically when Clarice went to visit him and she was telling her origin story basically, like telling the story of like the screaming of the lambs because then it gives you the clarity, not
Yeah.
one of the movie title. Why is it
Yep.
called Silence of the Lambs? Because you hear the story of like, yeah, like I went and it's just obviously it's just so like jarring because like the story starts off kind of far, and as they're going in, and we talked about the camera work where it's just their faces. She's just, and you could see Clary's so disturbed. She's like, they were screaming, and then it's just Hannibal. And then what did you do next,
Yeah.
Clary? It's just
Oh
like,
man.
oh, and then what? And then what? And then what did you do after that? And I'm just like, oh my god, this guy
Yeah.
is insane, man. He's just so locked in. He's like, oh, she's so traumatized. I love it. Like he's
Yeah.
fucking getting. I'm sure his heart rate's still at 84,
Yep.
but
Yep.
he's so into this. Her telling her trauma story, and to me, it was good because now you also get the more of her why. Like for the most part, I feel like you can justify like anybody that's like a cop or whatever. It's like okay, for whatever reason, you want to save people, you know, or like you want to help people. You don't really, sometimes you don't really have to explain that. You can just
Yeah.
accept that that guy got into a service job, so like he wants to help or he wants to be involved. But you really get in like she tried to save these lambs, and now she's trying to save these girls, and that's the connection of that. And it's like, oh, okay. And then him asking like later on, like, have the lamb stop screaming? Like that's
Yeah.
not that same scene, but then we get a little call back to that, and it's like, oh, okay, she's been dealing with the, and we never actually get that in the movie. It's not like we see her like waking from a dream, hearing screaming lambs or anything like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just really like that scene too, because to get that origin of the title of the movie, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great pick. I thought about giving that my scene as well because honestly, while I was watching the movie, like I kind of, I'm making my notes as I go of things that jump out at me,
Yeah.
and almost every single encounter between Clarice and Hannibal was a candidate for best scene for me. I had the quid pro quo scene,
Yeah.
their first like there's every single one builds on the previous one and reveals so much character and story. They're so expertly written and their performances are so good and it's so creepy and
Oh my gosh, yeah.
like you talked about, we get her why, we get her origin story, and it's revealing character on Hannibal too. The way like just we see how he operates. It's not so much from his dialogue, which makes it so good, right? It's just from well, I guess it is from the dialogue, but not directly telling us about him. It's the way he
Mhm.
asks questions and the way he just knows everything, and we just understand more and more about this guy as they keep talking to each other, and but yeah, to me, like the quid pro quo was a big one too when they finally start to like
Oh
reveal
yeah.
things to each other because this is their deal that they made to each other. So that's the first time that they really start to open up. I was like, this is insane. And then this scene that you're talking about happens is it's, every time they get face to face, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
if you would have picked any of them, I would not have argued with you.
Yeah, I know. It was hard to pick. Like I had to write something. I was like, what was it, the one that has to lead? No, doesn't have to lead. Like it just what stuck with me this time. I think it was more so
Mm,
that because if we did this and I watched it like it was my first time like you, I probably would have picked the exact same scene you did. That scene didn't lose any luster for me, but because it's still
you
I
know
because I
what's
knew what was
coming.
happening, but I was still like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. But I understand, but you saw it for the first time, so it's like it's very fresh for you, and it's just like, oh my god, I didn't see that. So to me, I was like, what's something that like was something that I don't know, just another scene that I want to give some love to. I'm like, yeah, the origin thing is cool because I'm like, yeah, that's what the title is, and that now we know more of her like internal drive and like why she's doing what she's doing. So I had to give some love to that scene.
Great pick. Great pick.
So last but certainly not least is our MVP. So who gets your MVP?
This was a tough pick too, like throughout the
Yeah.
episode I was shouting out the director, like we talked about the close-ups and like the setups for like the flip when she gets to Kill Bill's house and all this, or Kill Bill, Buffalo Bill's house and all this stuff. So like I think Jonathan Demme deserves credit, but I
Yeah.
gave my MVP, maybe he got yours, but I gave it to Anthony Hopkins because he's just so good as
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter. Like he's just such an unforgettable performance. The line delivery is 10 out of 10. Like you
Oh
said to
my
your seat, just
gosh.
and then what happened next, Clarice? Hello, Clarice. Quid pro quo. Well, no, what does he covet? We covet what we see. Every like it just it sends a shiver down your spine. His
Oh
facial
yeah.
expression and the way he depicts. I mean, I talked about how in their encounters we get so much character from him, and it's not by him telling us about his background or anything like that. It's just by us seeing how he's reacting to what she's saying and the questions that he asks, and he always has the right answer for whatever she said. Like he knows Buffalo, he knows the whole case. He's so confident because he's just like, everything you need to know is in those case files. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing here. Everything's there. I know what has happened. You're just not smart enough. And so he's so smart, but that plus the absence of all emotion whenever he's doing anything, like you can say it out loud, like, oh yeah, his pulse never got above 85, but like you could see it in the performance. And we can also see just from his facial expression and his body language that he hates subpar psychologists, but really
Mm,
respects Clarice, just from like the tone. And like it's so subtle in the performance, but like when she shows up, he kind of like he stands up straight, and you can almost like whenever she responds to him, he's like, oh, you're right. Yeah,
mm.
that's actually a smart response. He's like, oh, you was that your idea to come up with this fake island proposal and get me to do that? Oh, that's I'm impressed. That was a good
Yeah.
idea. But as soon as like Chilton walks in, he's just like not even responding to him. His body language fully drops. He's just like, I don't care about this idiot. As soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna take your pen and I'm gonna kill you. Like he just, but he never says any of this stuff. We can all see it just from the performance. It's so subtle. He destroyed this role, and he's my MVP.
Yeah. No, he's absolutely like phenomenal in this movie, and I had the same MVP.
Nice.
Yeah, and I to your point too, it was the same thing. Like I felt Jonathan Deem definitely could have got an MVP too because it's such a task in itself to because it works hand in hand. Like the performance of Anthony Hopkins, I think is obviously the leading thing, but it's how he shot him. It's the close ups. That was the biggest thing. I think is like the biggest one of my biggest takeaways from this viewing. I was really taking in like how much emphasis he put on faces
Yeah.
in this movie, and especially like the tight close-ups. Like there's so many, like a lot of characters. Buffalo Bill got a tight close-up. Crawford got a tight close-up. Clarice, like Hopkins, like everybody gets these tight close-ups. So it really puts a lot on them to put their performance through their facial expressions to show. And like the people did show, and especially Anthony Hopkins just went absolutely nuts on that. Like we talked about the voice, the faces, the movements. And there was a funny thing that I saw him say in an interview that because usually when people play these characters, they do their research. Maybe they talk to some people to get some just a perception of like what how we should portray this character. And I don't know if you saw anything on this. Did you see anything about how he prepared for it?
Yeah, just kind of that he went and he talked to like some serial killers and stuff, and but not anything other than that I saw, anyways.
He said that he actually didn't do any like extensive research on specifically like I'm gonna lock into this character. He said that he got inspiration, which is kind of like, it sounds like a funny like backhanded compliment, or not even a compliment. It sounds like a subtle backhand that you want to throw. He's like, yeah, I got inspiration from one of my acting teachers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, for Hannibal, one of your acting teachers. That's crazy.
Yeah, were they a cannibal or something? How do what does that even mean? Yeah, that would
He just
I
means
would
they were
not want
just
someone
like
to say that to me.
very just they were intelligent, but they were just very like stern and kind of
Emotionless. Oh, okay.
arrogant. And that's what he said. I'm like,
Okay.
damn, which teacher was
Yeah.
that, man?
I could see it though. That makes sense. Like now that you say like the arrogance and like just kind of
Yeah.
being really smart and knowing it, you could see that in Hannibal. In
Oh,
Hannibal.
100%. But yeah, no, it wasn't 100%. Like again, it was a tipping toe. And even honestly, like Jodie Foster, like she was great in this movie too. It was like shit. It's a tough comparison to
Yeah.
of having to go hand in hand, and it's a two-way street. Like what she was doing with Hopkins in those scenes, what made it great. Like if she was a fucking lemon and she was terrible, it would
Oh
have
yeah.
not worked as well. Like if she wasn't giving a good performance too, there was definitely chemistry there.
Yeah. 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 100%. I'm the MVP isn't doesn't mean this. And you know this. It doesn't mean it's
Yeah,
the only good performer in the
yeah,
movie. So 100%, she was good, but I mean, she's not as good as Anthony Hopkins. She's
no,
just not.
yeah,
Maybe that's also the role. Like she gets like the monologue with the story, and again it's good, but like do you think she could have almost even given a performance that stacks up to his? I think he just like he can do more just with the being creepy and the subtleties of his character. Like I said, like hating this person and just changing
yeah.
your demeanor when they walk in the room as opposed to when she comes in the room. Like she's in there for a reason. She's there to get information from him to solve this crime. So it's not so much like he's toying with her. Like he could just give her the information. So he
Yeah.
kind of has a little more wiggle room to like do some crazy and weird stuff. She, based on the nature of her character, is in there for a mission. So she's needs to kind of stay a little more stoic and like, no, like we got to keep this on track. Like just give me the information on Buffalo Bill. So again, her performance was good. I think Anthony Hopkins was just better.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I shouldn't say it's not even a debate, but for me, it's just it's
It's
pretty
not.
clear that,
It's
huh?
not. It's not.
Yeah. Apparently, one thing I saw too that was like I saw Jodie Foster say like recently in an interview because I mean that she's gonna be asked about that movie until she dies. Same thing with Anthony Hopkins. Anytime they're in an interview,
Yeah.
they're gonna be promoting another movie, and someone's gonna try to slip in a question about Silence of the Lambs because it's just so iconic. But she was saying that he's like, yeah, she's like, I remember when you were shooting that scene with him and he made fun of my accent. He's like, that was like improv. Like he wasn't supposed to make fun of my accent. And she's like, I remember that pissed me off a little bit. And she's like, I
Yeah.
think that kind of worked because then like the real tension kind of came in where it's like, oh, this guy's actually making fun of my acting. And then they're supposed to be handled because that's making fun of me. So I'm like, okay, this works. I'm gonna play off of
Yep.
this. So like they just work so well in that sense because it felt like it was there. And apparently it really was there a little bit. She was
Right.
like 23 and Anthony Hopkins was like 55. So it's definitely a huge age gap too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that goes to my point of like he just has a little more room to do that. Just based
yeah.
on the character, more room to improv, just to make fun of her, to play with her a little bit. Like she's like, I got to say these lines of like, no, like, all right, I told you some information about me. Now tell me about Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Like that's what she's there to do, right? So it's just like a almost an uneven opportunity in that sense because he's by the nature of the character, he's chilling. He has all the time in the world. He's in jail.
Yeah. No, that's true.